Hi again. In this short video I will briefly explain my archiving function from PAL Laserdisc using this CLD-D925 player from Pioneer, and I'm archiving to the Toshiba RD-XS32, and the machine at the top in the picture here is basically a very good DVD recorder, probably a little bit too featured in its ease of use. It's quite complicated to use, and it does allow some good results though, and it allows the data rate to be set so you can really maximize the space on a DVD disc and record the best video that you could possibly can from your Laserdisc. So I'll briefly show you how I do that. So this DVD recorder by Toshiba really does need the remote control to make any use of it, and it's very full featured. The main buttons that you'll probably see up here are the library, the record menu, the edit menu, the content menu, and the quick menu. They tend to be quite important, as well as the setup, and there's an additional keypad underneath this one. So you do need this controller if you are going to be making some copies from your video in to the DVD. So my Laserdisc of choice to archive today is the Reservoir Dogs film by Quentin Tarantino. Luckily it's only one Laserdisc, and you can literally put the Laserdisc in and let it play both sides, so you don't need to put a second disc in or third disc in even. So that will make my archiving today a little bit easier. So up here you can see we can see the Laserdisc switched on, and then the Toshiba I've just switched on now. This player has actually got a different drive inside for its DVD part, and that's because the original one stopped working. So the way that I tend to archive is archive directly to the hard disk, and then I will then make a copy from the hard disk to the DVD, and that's quite useful because it allows you to make multiple copies. And if you have any disk issues, obviously because you're not recording on the fly to disk, it's a lot easier just to fetch a new disc to put in and get around those issues. So I'm feeding a S-video signal in here into the front of the machine, and I'll just show you the menus. First thing I do now is click the quick menu button. This brings up the quick menu, and what you need to do is scroll to the AV record quality. So with that selected, it pops up the AV record quality menu, and what you can do is you can actually alter the rate yourself to squeeze as much as you can onto a disc. And it's quite good, this menu, because it shows you if you've got enough to fit a disc essentially. So as you can see in there, it's saying 4.7 gigabytes unused. That's a standard DVD, and it's saying that under this setting 5, which is a bit rate of 5 displayed, it will record 112 minutes. So let's have a look and see how long the film is for Reservoir Dogs. So just looking here, Reservoir Dogs happens to be 98 minutes. So being 98 minutes, the film, it looks like I can squeeze a higher rate here, which should enable better quality capture. So I'm going to go into one of these manual settings, and I'm going to up the rate. So looking at the first setting, looks to be quite close, although it's a little bit under. So this is 86 minutes at this 6.6 rate. So what you can do is you can adjust using the controller to go up and down. So let's see, so that's the wrong way. So let's go down. So we want to get up to 98, 97, 101. That looks good. So it looks like we can go at 5.6. Having pressed the middle button on the controller to set it, you see that what happens is this menu will disappear, and you have to actually go back into it to select the correct slot. So we're looking for setting 1. There you go, and it's 101 minutes. So now I can press that. So we're all ready to go on there, which is good. So I've not played this disc for some time, so I'm hoping it's okay. It doesn't suffer from laser rot, so we will see. So the option here is to now basically get ready to press record on the Toshiba, and it's as simple as that. So the most interesting part is probably showing how we can offer the DVD disc once we've made the recording. So just to set this going, I am going to use the record button on the remote, and I'm going to press play. And now I'm recording, and then we'll just leave it. So with this dual side playback deck, it basically spins the head round, so the head moves position to play the B side of the disc itself. So you get a short transition kind of screen when it changes side, but it just lasts a few seconds. So I can just basically leave this alone now, and I can probably get away with showing you the start of this. I don't know if this bit would be copyrighted or not. And there you go. So at 92 minutes now, so when this ends, I will be able to make the disc. So you press stop. I tend to press stop on the remote. I've had a couple of times where I've had to turn the player off to make it stop, so maybe there's a firmware bug or something it doesn't like. But let's get ready to stop this now. And it's finishing now. Okay, so press stop, and what I can do, I'll just stop the Laserdisc and get ready to load a blank DVD. Now this drive is a multi-drive, but it doesn't work with DVD RAM or DVD plus. The original format of the drive is DVD minus, so that's what I'm using here. I'm using an HP one, and let's fire this menu up. Okay, so what you have to do is go down to DVD video creation, and then you select the last video file. Okay, then you go next, sort of clicking the enter button and the arrows on the remote here. So I've got this set up to auto play rather than go straight to DVD menu, which I think is the best way. So let's go next. So what we can do is it allows us to put a name in, so I'm just going to do that now. So now I press save, and I can go down and select next, and I'm just picking the defaults for now because there's nothing that special, because it's only going to be a single track video in there. So I shall do that, and then I shall go yes, and then it starts the burning process. And what's quite good is it allows you to perform separate records afterwards. So yeah, so basically you can keep putting DVDs in and burn as many as you need. So this player does seem to, well, this recorder I should say, does seem to record very well. I know that I think the same model in the States maybe had issues with black in the video, so maybe it suffered with extra darkness, but this seems to work really well, and it really is surprising the quality of the recording. So what I'll do is I'll show you a little bit of the recording of the Laserdisc afterwards, so you can see the quality. It's probably the most complicated recorder I've got actually for recording video, so it takes a little while if you don't have the manual to find your way around all the menus and get the sort of gist of it, but it seems to do the job really well. And obviously once you've got it onto disc, which is quite nice, you can then make copies on a PC. Also you can obviously render it to smaller files on the PC as well, so that's quite nice. So yeah, so I quite like the standalone recorders because you can just leave it to sort of do these things, and it doesn't tie up a PC while you're making the DVD, so it's quite nice not to have to turn on a computer to do that. And the quality is pretty superb actually on this. So other players, well, other recorders would be, I know JVC did some pretty good ones. Panasonic tend to be okay as long as you're running in the highest sort of bit rate. So unfortunately that means running it so you only have an hour per disc. Otherwise you tend to get quite a few artifacts and blocks. So that's just something I found. So yeah, so it's carrying on at the moment, and I'll show you the recording on DVD once it's finished. It'll just be a few minutes. So now at 83%, so just another minute or two. Taking a little bit longer than I remember, but yeah, almost there. So it must be writing the end track now. And then it jumps straight into a finalisation process, so that again comes up and says several minutes, but this one does seem to motor along a little bit quicker. So after that I shall play the disc in here so you can see the quality direct from the actual recorder, rather than putting it into a DVD player that upscales to 1080p, so which I've got next to it. So I'll just play the DVD in here once it's ready. In the meantime, better eject this. And this Laserdisc player actually, I've had it for probably 10 years or so, and I bought it when it was quite out of favour. I remember paying 15 British pounds for it in the car boot sale, so I think for this model it was pretty good. And I have got quite a few discs, including NTSC disc as well. So there we go. And then it comes up and says create another DVD video, so we won't do that, and I'll just say no, and I will select DVD on here, and then it should play the DVD, which it is. So this is the DVD, and we can speed it on a little bit. I'll speed it right the way in, and I'll also mute the sound, because probably not, being an 18 is probably not suitable for me to be playing the sound, particularly this scene, if people remember it well. And I've still got the sound. There you go, mute. So the quality, as far as I can tell, is just practically like watching the Laserdisc. It really is good, and that's how it's rendered from the standalone Toshiba recorder. I can quickly put it into the Sony one just to just to see the difference there, if there is any difference. It may letterbox it slightly differently, I can't remember. So let's just turn this one. Okay, so let's just select HDMI. I've got to put the disc in. Now, so this is a Sony surround sound based DVD player. So this one, pretty robust actually, had it for probably about 11 years or more, maybe 12 years. Again, I'll just mute it here. And with speed on. So interestingly, when this is playback, you can see slight bar at the side of the picture, very slight, but